Hey everybody, this is going to be just a quick video because I want to check in with everybody. There's a lot going on and I just want to kind of check in and make sure that everybody is okay. I've got appointments to go to, so it's going to be short, and my sinuses are horrible. So if I sound funny, I'm sorry. I am miserable with my nose. And look, I'm going to touch on a few things that I'm not going to go into detail with because I'm not getting into any type of back and forth or anything with this creator. But when I made my audio post, I never in a million years imagined that Jade would react with a community post, right? I don't know why she did. I have never interacted with her. I've never interacted with Cramit. I don't talk to creators like that. And those are two that I absolutely have never been in their comment section or communicated with. So it was odd. I think it was a vehicle to expose Cramit, and that's what I think it is. And that's where I'm leaving it. I have seen people in chats everywhere being confused and talking about not knowing who to trust and being frustrated and confused about what's happening. And I get it. It's a lot of stuff going on. But what I will say is just ask questions. If things feel off to you or there is something that has been discussed and you have more questions about it, ask questions. Ask other people in chat. Ask the creators. Go to comment sections and ask. If you come across a creator that gets defensive by you asking questions or just blatantly ignores your questions, that's a sign that something is going on. Because honest people don't have any trouble answering questions and telling you what you need to know. People that are hiding something are going to get defensive and not want to answer your questions. And that's kind of your tip off that there is something there that's being hidden. And I don't know, everything is still unraveling. So I don't know who is doing what, when, and where, and why. But there's a lot of things that were going on behind the scenes. So I just wanted to come on and check on people because I see the chats and I see the comment sections and people are lost. There's a lot of people that are there's too much going on to keep up with and everything still hasn't been pieced together completely. So it's kind of an unfinished puzzle right now. So I wanted to just come on and check on people. When I made my audio post, it was because there was just too much tension going on. And I knew that making that would probably cause some waves because I was going to call it out. People have been quiet and not saying anything about it, but I knew people were feeling it because of my comment section. People were commenting about feeling uncomfortable and like you're tiptoeing around. It's kind of like a pond with a thin sheet of ice on it. And we're all tiptoeing on the top of it, trying to not crack it because right under the surface is freezing cold water. And we don't want to get in that. So everybody has been just tiptoeing around and it's stressful and it's tense. And you don't know who you can talk about in this chat and you don't know who's fighting today and you don't know what topic you can't bring up over here. And it was so uncomfortable and I was tired of it. So I thought I'm just going to make this video and call it out. It just so happens that nonsense was getting to the same point and pretty much at the same time. I think once she saw the post about Cramit, she had already had her information about chroma reels, and I think that once she saw that, it was the green light to just lay it all out, get it out to everybody. Let people know that there is games being played. That's why we feel so uncomfortable. There are things being done behind the scenes to create this environment, and we don't know yet who all is involved. I'm going to say, actions speak loud. So watch what the creators are doing. Watch how things are moving. We don't have to understand everything just yet. So I know that some people are feeling pressured to understand everything and be on the right side of things right now. And I'm just going to tell you it's impossible right now because everything is still being exposed. Things are still being discovered every day. So you can't make a good judgment. You don't have all the facts yet. So my advice is just to keep doing what's comfortable to you. Keep going where you want to go. If the topic of all of this comes up and it's uncomfortable, you can, leave the chat for a little bit or ask questions, whatever you need to do to be comfortable. I hate that people are feeling this chaos and I have seen people very frustrated and saying I've been here for years and I don't understand what's happening and I don't know who to follow and I don't know who's lying and who's not. And it is frustrating and people don't want to be lied to. So they don't want to sit in a creator's chat thinking that they're one person and then finding out that they're a completely different person behind the scenes. So I understand that, but until everything is kind of pieced together, we don't know. We don't know who's keeping stuff from us and who isn't. So continue to go where you want. Don't feel stressed about that right now. Nobody should judge you for what chat you're in. That's your choice to do. And if when everything comes out, you find out that your creator was doing shady shit, then you can make your decision. And I want everybody to remember, because I see people very frustrated and unsure and feeling like they don't know where to go. Remember, whenever we had the J fallout in the community, remember how that felt. It was a big upheaval. And that for me, that I considered leaving at that time because everything was so chaotic and you didn't know who to trust. And we saw sides of people that we haven't seen before. And it was kind of an unstable time for the community. And a lot of people didn't like it and were hurt by creators and all of that. But eventually that settled down and things got back to a new normal. So just remember that whenever we're going through all of this right now and the pieces are being put together. Things are crazy chaotic right now and it feels unstable and you're unsure of where to go and who to talk to. Just remember, we'll get through this. If you need to log off for a week and then come back, whatever you need to do. But remember that the community has been through something, a big upheaval before. It's chaotic for the moment, but we get through it and then things settle back down. And the same thing will happen with this. We'll get through it, we'll uncover what's happening, and then whatever that is, the community has to work around it and decide how things are going to lay after that. But it will happen. It's happened before. We will get through this. And the only other thing that I want to mention is Discords. If you are in a Discord or a group chat, just be mindful of what you're doing and saying. I know, we all know if it's in Discord, it's not private. We hear that all the time. It's true. But also what happens in the Discord is you get put in there with people that you talk with in live chats. But it's different. It's like a little private message with them, and then you get into a group of people who all dislike the same person. And when you're with other people joking around, you're more likely to get drawn into it and maybe say and do things you normally wouldn't do. And then it's going to go public at some point, and the things that you got so caught up in and said and did are going to be out in the public, and people are going to go, oh my God, I didn't know she was like that. I can't believe she said that. And it can turn into something crazy. I have been in Discords before. I've seen it happen. I don't know why it happens that way, but I think in this community, we're all a little bit nosy. We're all a little bit gossipy. We all do like a little drama, or we wouldn't still be here. So I think it's just the feeling of being more free to talk to the people that you talk to in chats every day. It's that freedom of being able to say whatever you want, post memes, post pictures, just kind of an open dialogue. It's like hanging out with friends, and you get really comfortable and you say things, and then you're like, oh, shit. A week later, you look back and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. So, but it's already been screenshotted by someone. So just, be mindful if you're going to be in a group setting like that. Just stay very self-aware of what you're doing. Try not to get drawn into, don't get drawn into a situation where you're acting differently than you normally would just because the people around you are doing it. It's almost like a peer pressure thing as an adult, or kind of, I want to fit in. It happens. People are going to laugh at that and say it's stupid or say it doesn't happen, whatever. I know what happens. I've seen it. It's a kind of peer pressure thing where everybody else in the Discord is saying this nasty shit about somebody, and here I like all these people. I want to fit in with them. I want to stay in the Discord. So join in and say what they're saying just this one time. Well, that's all it takes, is that one time to get screenshots taken and released out to certain people. I have never seen anything good come from a Discord. I'm just going to say it that way. And of course, it's everybody's judgment what they want to do. I'm just saying, be mindful and very self-aware of what you're doing and saying if you are worried about or hurting someone. I've seen some really horrific things said in Discords, thinking that they would never get out to people. As well. It just will. Just a warning. Like I said, I am nobody. I'm not telling you what to do. I know somebody in their post said, "Who are you?" I'm nobody. I'm just on here talking. Nobody needs to follow what I say. I'm just giving an opinion like everybody else is. I listened to something this morning on my way to an appointment, and it kinda made me angry, and I was kinda sitting here thinking, I've been tiptoeing around what I'm saying because I don't wanna upset people, and I'm trying to be fair and neutral and all of that, but the things I'm listening to are starting to anger me enough that I want to just say it. So I'm gonna say some things, and I'm sorry if it upsets people, but everybody else is out here speaking their mind, so why shouldn't I? Whenever I see people in a chat, actively questioning whatever creator it is about how do we know who to trust? How do we know who's involved behind the scenes? How we don't know who to trust, who to look to, who to believe, all of that anymore. Everything's jumbled up. We don't know. And then there's certain creators that are going to tell you which creators they believe are okay to trust. And I'm going to tell people, please, before you just follow a creator's word, remember that there are some creators that don't get along and are going to exclude someone if it's someone that they don't care for or that they haven't gotten along with. So please don't put all of your weight onto one creator's opinion of who is trustworthy and who is out here fighting against what's going on behind the scenes. Because everybody has different connections to people, different emotional attachments to people, different ways of looking at things, and different things going on in their life outside of YouTube that affects the amount of time they're spending on here. I'm also going to say that I don't agree with doxing. No matter who it is, I don't agree with it. I don't think it solves anything. And the whole dox for a dox thing, is not, it's just not my thing. I don't think that it helps anything. And it's never going to stop if that's how we keep combating people sharing personal information, is to just turn around and do the same to them. But that's completely my opinion. So I'm also going to say that Granny has a lot going on in her personal life. She had court last week. I believe she has court next week. And I believe she has court in Oklahoma the week after that. She has a whole lot of stuff in her personal life going on. So I do not see the fact that she's not on here, on different panels and talking about all of the players in this and condemning them. I do not see that as suspicious at all. I think that she has too much going on in her personal life to come on here and add a whole bunch of more stuff onto it. I think we have to look at, when you're trying to decide who you're trusting and who's into what and who's doing what, you have to consider everything. Not just how much are they on here fighting and how much are they tearing people down and how much are they digging into this, and that's not a uniform judgment system for who to trust, because some people just have too much going on to be on here dealing with this stuff. And Granny didn't really have a lot of interaction with Crimit and Krama Reels in the first place. So, of course, she does not appreciate anyone being behind the scenes stirring up trouble, but she also has a lot going on just in real life, and she's not on here as much. And I do not think that it's suspicious that she's not on here going balls to the wall fighting against people. And I think that Granny and Jay had a closer relationship than others. I think that Granny actually considered Jay a friend. The word friend is tossed around a lot on YouTube, and I think that it should be acquaintances for a lot of them and not friends. But I do believe that Granny considered that a friendship with Jay, and I think she was very hurt by everything that happened. We've heard her be very emotional whenever talking about what happened, and the fact that Jay is now hate bonding with BJ, of all people, was the ultimate slap in the face to Granny. The fact that she would apologize and become friendly with the person that has put Granny through over a year of stress, worry, thousands of dollars, and just a whole lot of bullshit. The fact that she would do that whenever Granny has not joined into any bashing of Jay or anything like that. To see Jay do that whenever Granny has not been out here trashing her or doing any of that stuff, even though people have kind of thrown shade at her for not bashing Jay, she still didn't do it. And then Jay turns around and does this to her. And I think that Granny is more hurt than anything. And honestly, I think that Granny is emotionally spent. I think she goes through so many emotions in a day because there are, with at night and who she's going against, there's constantly something going on, new filings or new posts or new videos or whatever happening almost daily. The stress of always worrying about having enough money and about what's going to happen and how long it's going to take and will this ever end, and along with, being a mother and things that come along with that. Plus, she's made it no secret that she has seasonal depression, so that's added on it. I think that she is just emotionally spent. So when she comes on here and she isn't as aggressive as everyone expects her to be or wants her to be, I think that Jay joining up with BJ was an absolute painful blow to her. I do not think that her not bashing Jay means anything. I don't think that means that we shouldn't trust her. I don't. I think, Bob, it's going to be an individual thing on who you decide you can trust for now. Like I said, the pieces are being put into place behind the scenes. There are still things playing out that are suspicious. There's still sock accounts that are being figured out who they are. So for now, just be careful who you talk to as far as telling any private information. Be careful who you get attached to because you may be disappointed by them. Trust your gut, listen closely, ask questions, and protect your mental health. If things aren't here are too much for you, take a break. If you are getting too emotionally impacted by things on here, take a break. Just don't let this place get to you too much. Things will calm down, things will be figured out, called out, and then things are going to settle back down. We just have to get through another period of chaotic turmoil. We've been through it before, we'll get through it again. Finally, I want to thank the people that support me, and I was incredibly touched by the people that checked on me after my last video and then the whole post calling me out of nowhere. And I think there were probably other things said about me, but I don't go looking for it. If there's something negative, I typically don't give it any attention. So to the people that were in my comments, checking on me, supporting me, all of that, I so appreciate you all. It is very touching to me that there are people who think about how things affect me and come here to show appreciation. Like I said, whenever one of her comments in her post were, "Who are you anyway?" I am nobody, but I have supporters who think I am somebody, and that means the world to me. I have supporters who care what I have to say, and that's amazing. I do not take that for granted one bit. I do not. One more thing I'm going to add on here, and I hate this. I have said, I'm not going to get monetized on here, and I'm not. I am going to add a buy me a coffee link simply because it's to put into my editing software. I had to switch editing software that I was using, and it's a lot more expensive than what I was paying. So I am simply putting that in there if anyone wants to help out. I have had people in the past say that they want me to be monetized, that they want to help out. So that is the only reason I'm doing this. Is it would totally be for my editing software, and it is only for people who would like to do that. Please give to others that, need it for legal funds or whatever first. It is not like I'm not in dire need of it. It would just be something that would help out. So I'm putting that there. If you want to, great. If you don't, great. I appreciate the comments and interaction on here is what I appreciate the most. So, like I said, this is just a short video. I just wanted to touch base and make sure that everyone was okay and remind you, remain self-aware, protect your peace, protect your mental health. We'll get through this. Talk to you soon, guys. Thanks.